Hello guys, and welcome back to the channel. So guys, during the Babangida regime, after having looted a ministry to the ground, looted it of course of all of the monies and emptied all of the coffers, the ministry is then usually burnt down. The building of the ministry is then usually burnt down to destroy all the evidence of the looting. So this is something that seems now to be repeating again. This is something that's being brought back apparently, as guys I bring you this. Buhari's minister reacts to fire outbreak at Accountant General's office, reveals suspected cause. So the Accountant General's office of the Nigerian state has had a fire incident, a throwback, as I said, to the Babangida era. So again, the headline, Buhari's minister reacts to fire outbreak at Accountant General's office, reveals suspected cause. So now let's find out exactly what reasons they're justifying for burning down this building. Nigeria's Minister of State for Finance, Clem Agba, has said no records were lost in the fire, which saw a section of the Treasury House razed on Wednesday. However, the cooling system of the data center was damaged by the fire before it was eventually contained. The fire gutted some rooms at the office of the Accountant General of the Federation in Abuja on Wednesday. We have gone round the rooms and offices where the fire has affected, and I am glad to announce to you that our data center, where all our records are kept, are intact. No destruction, so we haven't lost any records. I have to inform you that for some time now we have gone digital, but still have some things that we do manually, but a lot of things are now online. Even if the data center were to be affected, we have a backup that is kept outside of Abuja in case we lose the data center, Agba told reporters. According to the minister, a staff claimed that the fire was started by a faulty air conditioner, but he added the right professionals will be able to tell us whether it is the air conditioner or something more. So this is now what is going on within the Nigerian state now, burning down buildings and all this ridiculous nonsense. This is something that we've seen repeat again and again, of course, and Nigerians are not exactly buying this, because it's usually it's always the air conditioner. This was the excuse. These were the excuses that they used under the Babangida era as well, and usually under the Babangida era, some unfortunate security guard would have paid the price for that thing when the building comes down on him. That was the usual occurrence in those days, but thankfully they are not in this instance, at least not so far from these reports. But Nigerians are reacting, and the person leading the charge in that reaction is no less than the musician Burna Boy. So Burna Boy is where we're going to for the next headline. So, and here is his headline: Burna Boy mocks fire outbreak at Attorney General's office, calls out Nigerian youths in a video. So this is now Burna Boy reacting, and that is the headline, the second headline that we're contending with in this video. Again, the headline: Burna Boy mocks fire outbreak at Attorney General's office, calls out Nigerian youths in a video. So now let's see, because these musicians, they traditionally do not comment on political goings on, but now the political goings on in Nigeria is coming so close to home that every single Nigerian now has a voice and an opinion. So now let's get into exactly what this Burna Boy guy has to say. Burna Boy has taken to his Instagram page to mock the news of the fire outbreak at the Attorney General's office in Abuja on the 8th of April, saying that Nigerians deserved their leaders. In a video, the singer insinuated that the fire outbreak was a ploy for corrupt politicians to loot funds, stating that the incident was only the beginning of more to come. He urged Nigerian youth to channel the same energy they used in reporting movie star Funke Akindele to NCDC authorities to tackling their corrupt politicians, saying they would suffer if they did not. So let's see, what else did he have to say? This is coming a week after the Grammy-nominated artist left Twitter for being apparently too real for it. So this is a guy that considers rather himself too real for Twitter. So that is his response. And then of course we go to our ever reliable Fani-Kayode, who always has an opinion on everything. So here is now what Femi has to say. Femi's headline: fire at Attorney General's office suspicious. So this is what Fani-Kayode has to say, the headline attributed to him. Again, fire at Attorney General's office suspicious, headline attributed to Fani-Kayode. So now let's see what Femo has to say. Former Aviation Minister Fani-Kayode has described as suspicious the fire incident at the office of the Attorney General of the Federation in Abuja. It had been reported that some rooms at the office of the Attorney General of the Federation in Abuja, popularly known as Treasure House, caught fire on Wednesday morning. There were insinuations that the incident was fishy, especially as the cause of the inferno is still unknown. Reacting, Fani-Kayode on Twitter wrote, "The Attorney General's office has been burnt. Sounds very suspicious to me. Is someone trying to cover up something? Time will tell. Explain how you distributed 2 trillion naira to the poor. We need names, how you arrived at your database, and the demographic spread." And this is at NASS, so National Assembly and the federal government. So he is asking those questions. We have the records. They are actually, let me go through that sequence again, because this sequence tallies up. So he's asking the question: explain how you distributed 2 trillion naira to the poor. We need names, how you arrived at your database, and the demographic spread. And this is dash NASS to FGN, to the federal government. So NASS, so that's the National Assembly, to the federal government. So it's the National Assembly actually asking this question of the federal government. So the federal government then responds to that question. We have the records. They are with the Attorney General's office, and this is a comment attributed to the Minister of Finance. So the question was posed regarding 2 trillion naira that they're claiming they distributed to the poor, and they pointed to where the data is, which is of course at the office of the Attorney General of the Federation. So 9 hours later, office of the Attorney General is engulfed in fire. So now it didn't even take them that long to burn the place down. They are saying, okay, 2 trillion naira is a lot of money. 2 trillion naira is a lot of money. I can't do the conversion, but you do the conversion. We're talking about billions and billions and billions of dollars. But 9 hours after this question was asked of the federal government, the building conveniently was burnt, maybe not to the ground, but strategic sections of the building was burnt. So now the minister in charge, of course, has now come out in the public space to give some feeble assurances to the Nigerian people that they have a database and they have an online system now, and the data that are stored are backed up in places outside of that premises, so that is doubly secured. So that's all well and good, and that is good practice, and that is laudable, and that is applauded, because the data should be backed up. But when the dust settles and when the fog clears, what will come out is that the particular information, because he put in that caveat as well, that they store their information digitally, but they still have a small manual process as part of their process as well. So when the fog clears on all of this brouhaha, what will emerge is that the specific set of information that would unravel what happened to these 2 trillion naira was unfortunately part of the information that was burnt in that section of the building that was burnt. So this is now what we've seen it severally, so I'm not even saying anything that is too speculative or too conspiracy theorist or whatever it is. This is something that repeats. So this is now the narrative. So they're asking you for information as to what happened to these monies, and then you are saying, oh, it's in my office. So before you go to your office and come back, you come back and say, my office has been burnt down. I mean, it's just, but only in Nigeria, because there'll be a lot of hoo-ha in the papers for a day or two, and then we just go on to the next thing. Look at all of the countless things that have happened in the course of, let's even say this year, in the course of this year, the Buhari court case, where they told us that even if the constitution says the president must have a school cert, it doesn't matter if it doesn't. We made a lot of hoo-ha and we moved on. This will happen, we make a lot of hoo-ha, and so this 2 trillion naira now will make a couple of hoo-has. A few people will be paid off, some will be threatened, something else will happen, and the country just moves on. So this is now the latest development now. So they are now reverting back to the Babangida technique of burning down buildings after having looted everything that is within the coffers of whatever parastatal is in that building. So this is what they're reverting to now, but we will let this go this time around. This is really where the question is. Conversations in the comment section. Come share thoughts. They are using old techniques, but then of course we have an analog precedent in a digital age. Come share thoughts about all this with me in the comment section, but before you do that, click on the red subscribe button so it turns gray. Bell button notifies you every time I drop a new video. Then come tell me what you are making of this now. Back to the future of burning down buildings within Nigerian space in the comment section. So I leave you here. Carry this conversation on with you in the comment section, but here I say peace.